Yeah, what's good with it? It's your boy, Mr. Wilson, WilsonBlock100 radio show. We got your boy XL Middleton in the building with us today, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, what's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Thank you, man. Truly an honor. I appreciate you taking the time for this, man.
Man, definitely.
It's monumental, you know what I'm saying, especially where, Pasadena music scene's trying to go.
Yeah.
Man, real quick, man, you think you can give us a quick just background of you, you know what I mean, and how you were led to become an artist?
Yeah, definitely. Started out as a hip hop artist, still doing the hip hop thing, but right now I'm really exploring the world of funk, which is something I was always doing at the same time. I didn't release as many funk records back then because I didn't have a place to route it. All I knew was hip hop. That's how I grew up, and through hip hop, that's how I discovered the funk. So now I'm branching out. I'm a little older, so I'm just exploring new avenues, and this is really something that I've always wanted to do. This is just the first time in my life that I felt like I could really do it because the game is ready.
Yeah. So funk is probably where you're gonna end up going with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna stick with my hip hop roots. I'm gonna release albums that people would label them as like G-funk.
Yeah,
that's really what I came up listening to, just like West Coast hip hop. A child of the '90s.
Exactly.
And but yeah, it's either that G-funk or funk. Just keeping it funkin'.
Yeah, no doubt. So there's a lot going on the Pasadena music scene right now. You got artists in different pockets doing their stuff. Well, from your perspective, what's your outlook on Pasadena's music scene? Not just now, but from where it was up until now. You know what I mean? It's as long as you've been an active artist in the community, what would you say is the current state?
I think it's looking really good. There's a lot of younger artists that I have yet to get acquainted with, but I've heard some things, and it's looking good because I think music in general is just really looking up. As compared to where we were at 10 years ago, that might have been like a low point, if you will, even just for music in general, not just around the city, just in general. And so now I think we're getting back into this real creative state where people are just making music that they really love. And so that's what I'm seeing locally. Definitely.
And how do you think the way the online is the internet's taking control of things? With the past 10 years, with the implementation of that, how do you think that's affected even local music?
In a major way, definitely. Now in some ways it's leveled the playing field in the sense that anybody could put their music out. The tough thing is that for a listener, it makes it so that there's a lot more to swim through to find what you really like. But just to have the opportunity to put yourself out there, I mean, it's an amazing thing. I come from the era where you mail in your cassette demo and hope it gets heard, and
you had to go through the channels.
And you had to be signed to a major label, otherwise there was just no hope. So it's really come a long way, and at the end of the day, I think it's a great thing.
No doubt. So, great. You are no stranger to the music scene, obviously. What was, the experience of, hosting the Nick at Night at 72 North, which, I hear is no longer there. But, But, you guys brought out a lot of artists, what I mean? If you ask me, it was definitely a perspective of the music scene. I mean, you had artists, so much, a collective of artists to where it would be considered the music scene,
Yeah, we were able to bring out a lot of the artists. We weren't able to bring out everyone because the night didn't last long enough for us to bring everyone out. I think it lasted for not quite a year, but close to it. And in that time, we were able to bring out a lot of the local artists, and it was a dope thing. I mean, it was nobody was doing anything quite like it in Pasadena, and I think it kind of showed everybody that you can put on a viable, cool music event in Pasadena without no drama, no fights. Everything's just cool. We're just there for the music and just there to party.
Yeah, and it was pretty consistent too. It was like every third Friday or something like that.
I think it was actually a Thursday night
Thursday.
event.
Yes,
yeah.
it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think it was every third Thursday.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So, who are some of the artists that came out to perform?
Let's see.
During the stint.
Well, I had, of course, myself, Monica.
Monica, shout out.
Yeah. Let's see. We had the Hundreds out there.
Fat Cat.
Yeah, Fat Cat, the 100. Yeah, definitely had them out there. A lot of folks. We had Mike Towns.
Yeah.
Paco Swartz, of course. Just a lot of folks, man, a lot of people, and wish we could have gotten the opportunity to get even more people out there. So we just, we did what we could while we could do it. Basically.
Exactly. No doubt. So, I mean, you're not really gonna do it again?
We'll look into something in the future. I've definitely thought about bringing it back. The problem is that I would love to do it on a weekend.
Right.
Obviously, for obvious reasons, who wouldn't want to throw a night on a weekend?
People have time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's tough. It's tough to find a live music venue. There's really only one music venue in the city that will host live music on the weekends, the Terrace.
Yeah.
They're a dope venue. It's just kind of crazy to me. Pasadena, I think of it as like an artistic city.
Yeah,
there should be all kinds of venues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where, I've kind of struggled with it. It's like, Seattle, I look at Seattle and the epicenter of their city caters to the local arts.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pasadena, it's kind of like that, but you have a lot of institutions here that kind of put a stronghold on that,
Yeah, it's like if you go through where it's, where it's supposed to be cracking on the weekends, it's just a lot of like Lil Wayne and EDM.
Right.
And dudes going out just trying to, holler at chicks.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but I think we need some live music as
Absolutely.
well.
So, real quick, let's touch on the Terrace, because the Terrace, has been, it was one of the first spots I realized, music was going on in Pasadena when I started.
Yeah.
But it's been hard for hip hop acts there, because you got a bar guarantee and stuff like that, and their sound, the way they handle their sound, they don't have sound that plays through the whole venue where the people are actually at. The sound is stuck there on stage, so you got to kind of be up there. What was your experience? Because I know you performed there, right?
Yeah, we just did an event last month, the Mo Funk Review, with myself, Monica, Zachy Force Funk, and Dame Funk.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was a great event. It's as venues go, it's a good venue.
Yeah.
I like it. I personally had a good experience there. I think Dame had a good experience playing. It was a really good night overall. And I actually would say that the way that the sound is concentrated more to the front of the room is actually a good thing.
Because it encourages people to go up.
Yeah, because then it's like there's a space where if you need to get away from the crowd for a second, you can kind of step away from it. So to me, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, and I think the Terrace has the potential to be something like a House of Blues type of thing,
Yeah.
Not because it doesn't just do hip hop there. They have rock.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything you can.
And they've had some dope hip hop acts too.
Yeah.
They're like Pete Rock, I think, coming up. I know
Really?
they had Master Ace. Yeah, I've seen a lot of.
Well, Pete Rock
really
came already, or he's coming up?
I think he's coming up.
Oh wow! I gotta be there for that, because he's one of my favorite all-time producers.
Same here, man.
Yeah. You got that real soul,
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about some of the people you've worked with, on songs and just projects in general.
Okay, yeah. I've done a lot of stuff like in the G-Funk. I guess maybe we couldn't really call it a scene because it wasn't a scene at the time. It was something that was considered out of date. But there's a lot of fans for that style of music, especially like overseas, Europe and Japan. They still love that kind of music.
Yeah.
And so one of the first groups that took a chance with my music and collab with me was a group called Fossum. And if you're up on your West Coast 90s hip-hop, they were part of that whole LBC movement.
Oh, okay.
And so through them, I was able to do some stuff with some artists from the same realm, like the Twins and Bo Rock from the Dove Shack. And then I've done some stuff. I got a few tracks with Crooked Eye.
No doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That was one of the best moments, man. To be able to work with that dude.
Right.
Just finished something with Domino.
Domino. You talking about sweet potato pie?
Yeah.
What?
Domino. Yeah,
wow. Shout out Domino, man.
Yeah. He's
really?
Dope.
So he's still doing little stuff?
Yeah. Still dope as ever, man. Still with the catchy melodic flow.
Right.
Yeah. I've done some stuff. Yeah, I got a song with John B in the vaults too.
Oh wow.
A couple of them actually.
In the vaults, huh?
Yeah,
you holding that back?
Yeah, in the vaults, man. In the vaults. Hoping to put them out.
And John B's
someday.
from Pasadena, right?
Yeah. So, shout out to the
No
hometown,
doubt. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. But,
so, who are some artists you look forward to working with?
For me, maybe I'm just nostalgic, but I just really want to be able to work with, a lot of the artists that I grew up listening to.
Right.
So it's cool that I was able to put something together with Domino, because that was one of my favorites from back then.
Yeah.
But it would be great to put together. I'd love to do something with Cube one day. For example. I mean that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The DOC. I don't know how his voice is doing. I heard he was making a recovery. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be so dope to me.
So who were some of your influences, both musical or not, doesn't matter, but just inspired you to, be, the artist you are?
Well, obviously the G-Funk thing influenced me a lot. So from a production standpoint, I'm talking about guys like, Quick, of course, Battle Cat, Warren G, Ant Banks, all those guys. But, the kind of stuff that they were putting on the records they were producing, that was a life that I never lived. If you know me, I'm not a gangster. I'm not doing anything close to that.
Right.
And so, what I always wanted to do was take that melodic G-Funk production and bring a different style of lyricism to it,
Right.
So now, when I was coming up, some of my favorite rappers were like, Nas and Raz Kaz, and,
right.
Guys like that were known for being super lyrical. So I always wanted to put the two together to bring this like super lyrical kind of West Coast funk.
Right.
Yeah. So
no doubt. So, you got something in the works right now? You currently working on a project, or what details can you give us?
Yeah. I'm doing a hip hop album, or as some would call it, a G-Funk album. That's the one that's gonna have Domino on it. Oh, wow. And then I'm coming.
So that's still unreleased.
Yeah,
okay.
Still unreleased, and then coming with a funk album that of course, the style of production, it's always going to be influenced by hip-hop, but it's going to be like a lot of instrumental joints, or just joints with like some sung vocals, or like I do a lot of vocoder work, so, that kind of stuff.
So who's producing? Who's doing your production?
Oh, I do all my own production.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So whether it's a keyboard, guitar, or is there any time that you actually bring musicians in to come?
Yeah, all the time, especially with the guitar, because the guitar is an important part of any with funk production, and a lot of hip hop too. I think that's one of the big things that's missing, is that rhythm guitar, that
exactly.
It's very, very important.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so I play all my keys and do all like the drum programming and stuff. But I bring in guitarists, bassists, and stuff like that.
So you making your own production and writing your own lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So man, you the boss, man.
Sure, man.
Straight up, because I recognize that I need to learn how to make my own production, because I just can't wait on people.
Yeah.
And you got your own sound. You kind of know what you want to sound like.
Yeah.
And So, where do you get your inspiration from when creating your production?
I guess it just depends. Like sometimes I'll just wake up with a certain riff on my mind and just try to go out and bring it to life. Sometimes I'll just sit down and start bringing up sounds and seeing how the sounds inspire me. Yeah. And sometimes I just go through just collection of music, whether it's on MP3 or my collection of vinyls or whatever. I just start going.
So you got crates, huh?
Oh, I got a few crates. I'm not nearly as deep as a lot of the people that I know. I know a lot of like deep record collectors, and I'm nothing like those guys. But I got some stuff.
No doubt.
Stuff, I learn a lot from them, basically.
Yeah. So What projects do you currently have out for the people who may not know?
I got several albums out. Let's see, the last album I put out was called the Hedonistic album.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
just
that was
released.
On the Piff, right?
It might have been, or that might have been the Middle Class Blues album. That was another one I had on there.
Okay,
or maybe you're thinking of the Hedonistic mixtape.
Yes. Because you made a mixtape version of it too.
Yeah, well, it was two completely different albums actually.
Yeah, tell me about the Hedonistic mixtape.
Okay, so the mixtape was collaborations that I've done, stuff that's appeared on like other artists' albums. And
that
then,
you worked on.
Yeah, and then some originals. So I didn't do all the production on there. It was more it was just more like a collection of just works that I've accumulated.
Right.
And the Hedonistic album was something that I produced entirely on my own. And that was the goal with that project. I wanted to produce it all by myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to structure the songs like songs, not just like loops. They all have like intros and bridges, changes.
Right.
I wanted to bring that to hip hop, because I think that that's something that hip hop could benefit from.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to take away the loopiness with that sound. But
that's originality.
Yeah.
That's how you create original stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So what was the meaning behind the title? Why did you call it the Hedonistic?
Well, when you look up what hedonism is, it's not. I mean, I know it has a negative stigma to it.
It does.
But it's really just a philosophy that the idea is to attain pleasure, just to feel good, basically. Right. So it's kind of just like saying that this is a feel good album or a party album, and if you're a hedonist, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to feel good at the expense of someone else's pleasure. Right. So it's like, I'm not going to feel good by punching you in the face, because then you're not going to feel good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's just
though it made me feel good.
Yeah,
right.
it's just feel good album basically.
Right. And the Middle Class Blues, what's the story on that?
Okay, that one was released like right in the middle of the recession. The economy was just collapsing, and so
this is like 08. Somewhere in there?
Yeah. It was actually released in 09, but most of the songs were recorded in 08.
Okay.
And so, the idea was just to give you a reflection of life for just an average person, just very, very, very average, and things were kind of tough for a moment. So I just wanted to give people a snapshot of what that was like.
Yeah. No doubt. So before we go on to this next thing, I just want to ask you, because I'm actually a fan of Monica.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the videos you guys have done, man, and I'm truly entertained.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Wow. You know what I mean? It's really great music. And what is your take on, like, because Monica is a very talented singer. You know what I mean? I've seen her live performances. And how did you guys come to work together?
Just from being on the scene, just kind of on the circuit, just performing, and eventually, sooner or later, we were gonna have to cross paths at a show, and sure enough, we did, and finally, just decided to get in the studio, and it was dope. It really worked out well, because the direction that I was going in, just 100% funking it out, was the direction that she was always looking to go in anyway.
Oh wow! So it was.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's much more than a coincidence. That was some, that was meant to be.
So that video where you guys are moving fast and you guys are like going back and forth doing like tit for tat. You guys were kind of like in a relationship.
You can't train me.
Yeah, that one.
That was the concept of the video. Yeah, we kind of like start as like this dysfunctional couple. This inconsiderate dude and this nagging woman.
Right, exactly.
So nothing but pure comedy, basically.
Right, yeah, it was wonderful, man. It was a great piece of art, man, and it was original.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So that's why got to respect that. So tell us a little bit about the Yardnic mixtape, the 2010 and 2011. Just how you brought it together with that collection of music, because there's not many compilations out there in Pasadena that have that collection of music, other than like the classic by your boy Stephen Sneed.
Oh, yeah,
but the Yardnic mixtape, is definitely, played a part in bringing it together.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Well, the first one was most of it was just a collection of songs that we had, and a couple tracks that I had. I just shout out to some of the artists that I know.
Yeah.
And so we didn't even really realize what we created until we created it.
Right.
Basically. And so the second time around, we tried to structure it a little bit more. I think it was more difficult to put together because there were so many different opinions as far as like what tracks to use.
Yeah, and what should make the actual track.
Yeah,
list.
so that one I always felt like could have been better, but it was just compromises. Trying to make everybody, trying to keep everybody happy as far as what we're going to use for the track listing and stuff.
So, real quick, you don't have to take too much time on it, but can you just tell me how the Yardnic event started?
You know what? I would have to say it was before I was around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because word on the street was you one of the founders.
No.
Oh, no?
No, I wasn't one of the founders.
But was it that generation?
Yeah.
Okay,
it was definitely my generation. But, shout out to, Dink and Harold Blue and those guys. They founded it. And, I came to know them some years later.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, cool. And the Yardnic is every July. They still got it going on, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Every July, usually like the first week, right? The first Sunday of July, something like that.
Yeah.
And, from what I've seen, it's been one of the biggest urban events in Pasadena.
Yeah. They've been keeping it going.
So, tell us a little bit about the companies that you run, man. Crown City Entertainment.
Yeah. So Crown City is the label that I've been running on my own ever since 2003.
Okay.
Just been putting out my albums.
Yeah.
I've had some different artists that I've worked with too. Black and Mild, down known as Black West.
Okay.
Yeah, we put out an album from him back in '05.
Yeah. What was the name of that one?
It's called Bottled Up.
Bottled Up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably on Beat Craze.
It might be, yeah. It might be. It's a real hard to find album because we jacked the Black and Mild logo and they sent us a cease and desist, so we had to pull
really
it. Yeah.
And that's Middleton.
Well,
right?
yeah.
Black and Mild. So that was kind of ironic.
It's another interesting. That was a coincidence for sure.
Yeah, Black and Mild in Middleton.
Yeah,
wow. I'm just noticing it now.
A real coincidence because I got my name because when I was young. Yeah, I was always smoking the Black and Mild.
Wow, really?
Walking around somewhere with the Black and Mild,
Wow.
And so so some people would be like, "Yo, Middleton." So that's how that came to be.
Oh, no doubt.
And I used to be called Extra Large.
Oh, so you just shortened it up.
That was my rap name, and
really?
It was funny because I got a whole other cease and desist on that. The name was already trademarked,
wow.
So had to switch it up. So shortened it to XL and then just used Middleton because XL obviously wasn't enough. It's not a distinguishable name.
Right.
So,
XL Middleton definitely. Yeah. Wow, and it's a dope name, XL Middleton.
Man, thanks, man.
It's your boy, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, man. So Crown City Entertainment, that's kind of like the hip hop side of things. And we released a soul 45 vinyl from Reality Jones.
Okay, yeah, Reality
year.
Jones.
So, yeah, so he's just branching out, doing some different things. And the other label that I run is called Mo Funk. And I started that up with Eddie Funkster, my partner, who's he's one of the resident DJs over at Dame Funk's club, Funkmosphere.
Okay.
And we just wanted to start up something new because we knew we wanted to start a venture together as far as a record label. So we just wanted to come with something new. Like, in other words, we both start from the ground up.
Right.
So that's why we came with a whole new company, and that's just strictly dedicated to the modern funk that we're putting out. That's what Mo Funk is. It's short for modern funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. So, between Crown City Entertainment and Mo Funk, are you guys looking to maybe sign any artists or anything like that? I
think that's something that has to kind of just happen on its own. You know, I never go out searching.
But you wouldn't count it out.
No, but it's just something that just happens. I hear something from an artist, and I feel like I can build on that.
Right.
That's all, because that's all I ever want to do. I never want to change an artist's vision.
Yeah.
But if their vision coincides, and I think I could do something with that to help build on it, then that's something that I'll try to do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So the albums that you have out now is under Crown City.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course those are for profits.
Yeah. Those, you can find those on iTunes. Amazon.
And Pandora, you on Pandora?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, most def. I gotta add you to my station. Yeah. Add your station to my little account.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, real quick before we close, do you have any positive, uplifting words for any aspiring artists out there?
Definitely. I would just say, stick to your guns. Stick to what you do. Don't let anybody else change your vision, because you've got that vision for a reason. It's what you want to do, and I think at the end of the day, if you always do what you want to do, then you're gonna be happy with the music that you create.
Yeah.
And that's probably gonna feel better than having some kind of success, but achieving it by creating something that you don't really feel.
Right.
So that's my thought.
No doubt. Well, XL, man, it's been a pleasure having you, man.
Likewise.
Thank you. If you got any shout-outs, man, let's hear them.
Oh, man, shout out, of course, to the whole Mo Funk team, Monica and Eddie Funkster. Shout out to the Funkmosphere homies, Dame Funk, Billy Goods, Matt Respect, Randy Watson, Laraj, all the Funksters, and all, Pasadena, Altadena, most definitely.
Absolutely. You heard it here live. We got XL Middleton, WilsonBlock100 Radio. We out.